Hello and welcome back to the SoleMate series where we talk feelings and feet. Feet first, feelings second. And we're introducing this week all about bunions.
Bunions!
So another Ella week.
It's another Ella week. Oh my god, I feel like
Ella can feel her feelings.
Yes.
About...
And eat cake and eat my feelings.
Yes, and eat feelings, yep, if you need to.
Yeah, I think I'll need to. I'm really excited about this cake.
Awesome.
Oh
yeah, because it's your choice this week. Skipping
Yes.
ahead, where are we having cake from? We're not having it yet, but where are we having cake from?
Should I do
right
like a
now?
drum roll? I don't know, I feel like it was really good. Jocelyn's cake provisions.
Yes.
Yes.
And it used to only be like in one spot, and now she's
Yeah.
got a few different ones around the
Yeah,
place.
it's so good. Oh my god, if you haven't had a cake from them, you need to try
Her
one.
icing or ganache is always like next level.
Okay, well, let's start with what do we know about bunions?
Yes. Okay, so I guess a myth about bunions is I think a lot of people think it is a growth.
Yeah.
And it is not a growth.
Wait, really? Oh, no, it's not actually.
It's
That's
the
so
movement
true.
of your bone.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think about it. I have bunions. I still don't know that much about them. I just know that, like, I think, like, the typical standard,
so I think,
like, facts about
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people think that if they're thinking that a bunion is a growth on the side of their foot, then they think it's something that can be cut out.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
It's actually a bunion is, if I'm correct.
Fact check me. Yeah,
fact check me. Is that it's like, just say your hand is your foot and you've got a bone coming up through here that aligns with the next bone, and so basically it's this bone moving out that way creates the bunion, and that's why you see the other bone move that way, which is why a lot of people with a bunion, you'll have the toe as well.
I think so, yeah. I know that the bone comes outwards, and your toe goes inwards. They're like I actually learned that from the bunion socks. You know, the OS First bunion socks?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I learned that because I was like, why the hell is there a toe separator on it?
Yeah. You're talking about, so we've spoken about our plantar fasciitis socks before, and the same brand does a bunion sock, which still has some of the compression that the plantar fasciitis sock has. But basically, the two good things about it is it has, like, if you've seen the toe socks before, it's not full toe socks, but there's a separate section for your big toe, and then all the other toes fit into the rest of the front of the sock. So that helps, because obviously when you've got a bunion and your toe is moving a little bit across, and you're doing a lot of walking, that's rubbing the two toes next to each other, so you can get redness, soreness, or potentially a blister. So by having that separate section of material between the two, that creates a bit of relief. And then where a bunion would actually be, there's extra cushioning.
Yeah, there's padding. Yeah. I
So it has the two
the
two extra features compared to just the plantar fasciitis sock.
Yeah. Well, with that bunion sock, that's where I learnt about the toe.
Oh, the way the toe moves.
I just thought it was because we wear heels or really tight shoes, and that's why, or genetics.
Yes.
I thought that was one of the three, and then it's not until I learned a little about those socks and I got introduced to them. Yeah. It's the toe moves in and then the bone comes out. Yeah. Yeah, it's the movement of the bone. That's when I learned about bunions. Even though I have bunions, they're not that bad. They just, I think it's genetics.
Yeah, well, that's actually an interesting thing you bring up because, obviously there's different. I would assume a podiatrist would say there's different extremities of how bad a bunion can be. Like, obviously some people, they're painful enough and bad enough that they will opt for surgery, whereas other people can sort of manage the bunion with things like the socks and the type of shoes that they wear, but also that there's more than just one cause for them. And a lot of the time it can be genetic.
I do know that if you have pressure against it, it makes it worse.
Yeah, okay.
And for me, it makes it worse. Like, if I have a shoe that's not, like, I've even got sneakers that are quite wide. I remember it was like my EcoSoft 7s I had. I absolutely love them. I've had many, many, many pairs. There was this one color that was a bit stiffer in the leather. Yeah. I'm assuming it was maybe the dye that just made it a bit stiffer.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't take the insert out. I generally take the insert out of the shoes to give me extra width. And if you've ever had an EcoSoft 7, you can actually take the insert out for extra width, which is really great for someone with bunions. Well, for me at least.
To create more room in the toe box.
To create more room in the toe box. But that one shoe, it just touched on my bunion and just slightly. It wasn't even like an intense pressure. It was just a little bit. After 3 hours of walking in, I was done. Okay. That was it. It caused a lot of pain. It caused a lot of pain. It was just touching it, and I was like, that's it.
And I guess that's something to remember too, like with some of those shoes, especially you've got Frankie 4 and then a couple of other brands that have that adjustable width, is if you are wearing it a certain way and you've done a couple of hours walking, and your foot either starts to swell or starts to get tired, like make some of those adjustments early on.
Yeah.
Like taking out the inner sole to create a little bit more room if you feel like your foot is swelling.
Yeah.
And
just
that
to
will
give the
help
time
provide
as
a little
well
bit of
for the
relief.
leather. Yeah.
Yeah, and give the leather time to soften in.
Yeah, because sometimes it is just softening of the leather. Like for me, it was just the type that dye, I think, of the leather. It was the navy.
Okay.
Do you remember the marine?
Yeah, okay.
That was out of some
You just
reason.
felt like the leather was a little bit
stiffer.
It took a little bit longer to soften in.
Yeah, like I've had the white, like you know the white. The white is like butter.
Yeah.
Like serious butter. And I've had 7 pairs.
Yeah, nice.
It's just that marine coloured pair that I had.
Just for some reason, just not.
It was
quite
just
right
a
on
really a lot
for
stiffer.
your foot.
For my foot, yeah.
Yeah.
It just hit my bunion, and I was like, that's
okay.
it. Yeah. But it softened over time, so it was all good.
Actually, that reminds me, I wish we'd brought in for show and tell our, we should get it for the recap, our bunion press. Have you seen it? We've got one at one of our stores. You'd see them, I assume a lot of shoe repairers would have them, but basically it looks like a huge pair of like cast iron scissors, and at one end is a metal circle with a hole in it, and at the other end is a ball, so the ball fits into the circle, and so it's long enough that you can put it inside your shoe and press together and clamp it, and it creates just a little bubble in the leather where the bunion is. Have you not seen? Oh, you haven't seen it before.
I have worked here for nearly 9 years.
I've kept it a secret. Only the people in the know. There's a back way to get to the store.
I have never known this, and I have bunions.
Oh no!
I have never ever heard this.
I assume it's because it's probably something like, because shoes have gotten so much better and leathers are really soft, and you have shoes that come with the different like inner sole pack so you can adjust the width. It's probably something that doesn't come up as often.
Yeah.
But it's like almost like it's a very old school. You'd probably think it looks like something you would look at it in a museum.
Something like really
like
old-fashioned
tool. Yeah, vintage.
Yeah.
Like a blacksmith's tool or something.
Okay, we're bringing it for the
but
recap.
we should bring that in for the recap, because that is something, and I assume places like shoe repair places would have something like that. You know how they have like leather stretchers and things like that. Something to press in leather if you really do just need that extra softness around the bunion.
Cheers.
Cheers. Mm-hmm.
The caramel. Oh my god. Wait, I didn't try it with the buttercream.
It's really rich, but her buttercream is delicious. It's like so soft and fluffy.
Do you know what's beautiful about this cake? This cupcake? It's salted.
Mm-hmm.
Like the buttercream, although it's sweet, its saltiness just cuts right through it.
It's delicious. And
like
it is as fluffy as it looks there.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
I love the caramel.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good, but I love the caramel.
I think I love the caramel too. I think
something about that cupcake.
The good thing about this is that you get a really intense passion fruit kick if with the passion fruit curd.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you're someone who loves that like strong passion fruity, like if you love a pavlova at Christmas, you'll probably really
that
like
is
this cupcake.
exactly like pavlova with like passion fruit all over it and then cream.
Yeah, totally.
I actually don't remember when I started noticing my bunions. I just knew that my foot was getting wider, and then I think as people started mentioning bunions, I had my bone was sticking and I started noticing a lot more, and I was like, oh, okay, I think I have bunions, but I didn't have like the serious, like it wasn't really serious.
It wasn't causing a lot of pain or anything.
Like
Not
it was a
major
little
amount?
bit,
Okay.
no, but it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know I had bunions.
Okay.
But I think they're genetic. The reason is because they're not that intense yet, and I've worn quality footwear for most of my life.
The good thing people can look for, you don't have to rely just on softening the leather. Like if it's a great fit shoe for you and it's just that one point, then there are, like we were talking about before, there's options to soften that area for the bunion. But then there's also shoes out there that cater for it. And I think, like, I know a lot of the time they say not to put pressure on bunions, but there are people out there who prefer to have it covered rather than sitting free. So like we've got sandals like the Revere Miami, where the way the strapping goes over the top of the foot, the bunion sits between two of the straps, so the bunion sits free. And for a lot of people that's really comfortable, whereas other people want to still have something over the top. So they want to cover it, and it's a personal preference thing as long as it's still comfortable for you. But so there's ones that sandal wise that come with a wider strap, so it fully covers it, rather than just like, I think what's really painful in a sandal is if the strap is covering half of the bunion, then the edge of that strap is what's really going to dig in. Whereas one that fully covers it, and then I was just going to say, there's then like things in Revere shoes where the whole shoe is leather apart from a section of neoprene, which is a really soft stretchy material.
Archipelago.
And Archipelago as well, but Revere just has a section of the neoprene that sits exactly where a bunion would sit. So the rest of it, leather shoe, it's quite a nice work shoe, but then just soft right at the point it needs to be soft. And then you've got ones like Archipelago, which still have a contour through the footbed for support, but the whole upper is material. It looks really soft, and I think sometimes people are worried about how soft it is, but it has a polyurethane mix in with the material, and that makes it as strong as a leather, even though it's like instantly soft over your toes.
Softer. Yeah, it feels like a slipper. I wish I brought my Gizes in now, because if you look at my right foot on the side, it literally goes like that.
You see where your foot has pushed it out.
It's pushed it out. Okay. It's just like molded to my foot, and it literally looks so perfect in the way it's like just molded. It's literally like gone straight and then like out, and it's just it's still got the ridge. It's just pushed out. And that's something that you can do as well. You can go through wearing it in, seeing if that feels comfortable, but if you really feel like that edge is causing an issue, you can potentially have it modified. I did have a bit of sensitivity in the beginning with that shoe, but after it molded,
just took your time.
It was perfect. Amazing.
Awesome.
Well,
we'll recap after.
Yeah.